I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch network. Federal judges are completely fed up with Donald Trump's BS lawsuits. We now see a federal judge in the Southern District of Florida. Before a motion to dismiss is even ruled on, the federal judge is urging Donald Trump's lawyers to reconsider the frivolous case that they filed, and the judge is saying that the lawsuit appears to be completely vexatious and utterly without merit. The judge I'm talking about is federal Judge Don Middlebrooks in the Southern District of Florida. The case I'm referring to is the utterly frivolous and meritless case that Donald Trump filed first in state court in Florida, which was then removed to federal court because the state court didn't have jurisdiction over the dispute at issue. The dispute was a made-up one, but Donald Trump sued New York Attorney General Letitia James. She has a lawsuit, of course, in New York against Trump, his adult children, and the Trump Organization seeking at least $250 million in damages for a fraudulent valuation scheme by the Trump Organization, whereby the Trump Organization, Trump, his adult children, it is alleged inflated the valuations of their properties. And when confronted about this in the special proceeding, which is like the investigation that precedes the filing of the lawsuit by the New York Attorney General, when Trump was asked the most basic questions: what's the value of property A? What's the value of property B? What's the value of property C? What's the value of property D? Donald Trump, who you would think would be like, well, it's worth billions of dollars. No, Donald Trump invoked the Fifth Amendment to each and every question that he was asked. He invoked the Fifth Amendment over 400 times. An independent monitor in that New York case was put in place by the New York State Court judge now overseeing that lawsuit, Judge Arthur Engoron. The independent monitor is named Barbara Jones. She's a retired federal judge, and Judge Arthur Engoron has made a finding, the state court judge made a finding, that the Trump Organization is currently engaged in ongoing criminal conduct and fraud, thus necessitating this independent monitor. Before the independent monitor was appointed, though, Trump filed this lawsuit in Florida to essentially try to block discovery, block the New York Attorney General from getting documents relating to the Trump Revocable Trust, which Trump says has a jurisdiction in Florida. And so Trump was trying to use this lawsuit that he had filed in Florida State Court to block the New York Attorney General from completing her investigation and from engaging in discovery as part of the normal course of the litigation that she filed. You can't do that. Like, Trump just made that up. You can't ask another state court to get involved in interstate sovereignty issues and to stop a New York Attorney General from engaging in discovery in that case. So the complaint was utterly frivolous to begin with. But in the past, though, judges kind of just like allowed Trump to just go on with it. Not Judge Middlebrooks. And this is a trend that we're now seeing, especially since the Trump Organization was convicted on 17 felony counts in New York State Court for engaging in fraudulent tax schemes. So let me just read for you this order that was issued by Judge Middlebrooks. In the footnote is where Judge Middlebrooks urges Trump's lawyers to basically dismiss this case. 2 points I want to make. Number one, first off, the order at issue here was a rejection of Trump seeking an emergency injunction to try to block New York Attorney General from engaging in discovery or getting these revocable trust documents. The judge said it was completely frivolous. And one of the things that Trump tried to do, this is like beyond embarrassing and humiliating. So Trump filed an amended complaint. In the first complaint Trump filed, he called Letitia James, New York Attorney General Letitia James, because she's the New York Attorney General. In the amended complaint, he removed her title New York Attorney General to try to get around the immunities and the fact that you can't just sue a New York Attorney General or any state Attorney General for engaging in the processes and procedures that the Attorney General is empowered to. So they just called her Letitia James. And the judge here, the federal judge, Judge Middlebrooks in Florida, is like, do you think I'm an idiot? Do you think that I don't realize that she's the Attorney General just because you struck it out from what you originally called her? We know she's the New York Attorney General. Beyond frivolous. So the judge rejects Trump's request for an injunction. One of the key points the judge makes is the Trump organization has already been found to be guilty by a New York jury of several counts of tax fraud. See People versus Trump organization. To now impede a civil enforcement action by the New York Attorney General would be unprecedented and contrary to the interest of the people of New York. Then Trump's motion is denied. But here's the key line. It's in footnote 6, and the judge goes, plaintiff and plaintiff's lawyers are urged to reconsider their opposition to defendant's motion to dismiss. This litigation has the telltale signs of being both vexatious and frivolous. Let me read it one more time for you. Plaintiff and plaintiff's lawyers are urged to reconsider their opposition to defendant's motion to dismiss. The defendant is New York Attorney General Letitia James. She's filing a motion to dismiss. And what the court is saying, Trump and Trump's lawyers should reconsider opposing that motion because this litigation has all the telltale signs of being both vexatious and frivolous. So what the judge is saying to Trump's lawyers is, you better dismiss this case now before you make me rule on it, because if I have to rule on it, I am going to order very, very serious sanctions against you. And by the way, this is Judge Donald Middlebrooks. How do we know the name Judge Donald Middlebrooks? Because Judge Donald Middlebrooks previously sanctioned Trump for another frivolous lawsuit that Trump brought. This time he sanctioned Trump's lawyer, Alina Habba. And in that lawsuit, Trump brought a RICO or racketeering case alleging a widespread, vast conspiracy by 30 individuals that he sued, including Hillary Clinton, where he alleged they were all involved in this vast conspiracy to defame him by saying that he had all of these links to Russia and that it was all a big hoax. And so Donald Trump filed that in March of 2022. The court said this just seems to look like just the rantings and ravings of a lunatic before me. It doesn't even seem like a lawsuit. And the judge said essentially every allegation is frivolous. So much so that they would even just say someone lives in New York when they lived in Virginia. They would just say that someone's the head of the DNC when the person never even held the title of being the head of the DNC. Just made up stuff in their lawsuit as well. So Alina Habba in that case was sanctioned $60,000 so far. There's about $1 million more of sanctions motions that are pending. Remember what Judge Middlebrooks said in that case on November 10th of 2022 when he issued the order there? Judge Middlebrooks in that case said, so who is responsible for this case and others like it? The rule of law is undermined by the toxic combination of political fundraising with legal fees paid by the political action committees, reckless and factually untrue statements by lawyers at rallies and in the media, and efforts to advance a political narrative through lawsuits without factual basis or any cognizable legal theory. Lawyers are enabling this behavior, and I am pessimistic that Rule 11 sanctions alone can effectively stem this abuse. Aspects may be beyond the purview of the judiciary, requiring attention of the state bar and disciplinary authorities. Additional sanctions may be appropriate. So what we're seeing here with Judge Middlebrooks and what we will be seeing with other federal judges now across the country, especially now that the Trump organization has been found by a jury to be a felon institution on 17 felony counts, they're going to say exactly what Middlebrooks said. You're vexatious, this is a frivolous case, and that you are going to be sanctioned, and that lawyers may lose their legal license if they continue down this path, that lawyers are going to be held accountable. That is key. That is critical. And this is good that Judge Middlebrooks is saying that, in that footnote 6 to say preemptively, dismiss your case now because this has all the telltale signs of a vexatious, frivolous. In other words, I'm going to sanction the crap out of you. I'm going to sanction the crap out of your lawyer. So now the ball is in Trump's lawyers' court. What do I predict is going to happen? Trump's lawyers have dug the biggest hole, and they don't know the law of holes, which is stop digging. I think they're going to keep this thing going. I don't think Trump's going to allow them to just dismiss it at this point, although we will see. And I think they are going to be sanctioned severely. And we will cover that when they are sanctioned severely. And hopefully they will lose their legal license, because all of these Trump lawyers, frankly, all deserve to lose their legal license. They are a disgrace to my profession. They are a disgrace to the profession of law. They are despicable, doing despicable stuff. Everyone should be entitled to have a lawyer. Everyone should be entitled to have a representation. I don't fault people for that, but that's not what's occurring here. These people are bringing intentionally vexatious and frivolous cases that have no merit, that have no basis, simply for the purpose of political action committee fundraising, of harassing people, and of trying to undermine credibility in our democracy. And that's what's disgusting about it. I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network. Hit the subscribe button. We're on our way to 1 million subs. Thanks to you. Hit the subscribe button. In addition, check us out at patreon.com/MeidasTouch, patreon.com/MeidasTouch. Lots of exclusive content you can only get there, but most importantly, help grow this independent media platform together. Until next time, I'm Ben Meiselas.
At MeidasTouch, we are unapologetically pro-democracy, and we demand justice and accountability. That's why we're spreading our message to Convict 45. That's right, gear up right now with your Convict 45 tees and pins at store.MeidasTouch.com. That's store.MeidasTouch.com.